Hey everybody, we are back with a Monday evening edition of Weather for Weather Geeks here on Tax Day, the 15th day of April 2019. What a day we had yesterday. It was really rocking and rolling for a couple of hours. We did long-form coverage, of course, once tornado warnings started flying in parts of eastern Ohio, late in the afternoon, in the 5 o'clock hour, into the 6 o'clock hour as well. And then we kind of wrapped up our coverage around 7:30 or so as the worst of the weather shifted east of our TV viewing area. It was easily the busiest severe weather day of the season so far. Now, thankfully, no tornadoes occurred in our TV viewing area, but we did have a pretty strong one out in parts of central Ohio. This is north and west of Mansfield by a little ways, Shelby, Ohio. The National Weather Service went out and did a storm survey, found extensive damage, EF2 tornado, 120 to 125 mile per hour winds. This was a long track tornado as well, 17 miles. It was on the ground floor, and it was a wide one with a width of a half a mile. So that was Shelby, Ohio. And that's one confirmed tornado. We are awaiting word on some other storm surveys. I'll talk about that more in just a second. But look how widespread severe weather reports have been over the last 48 hours. Now, on the northern side of this, a lot of this is wintry weather up here. But all of this is severe weather, wind, hail, and some tornadoes as well. When we zoom in on our local area, another confirmed tornado in northwest PA. This was found to be north of Conneautville, close to Springboro. This was an EF0, much weaker tornado. Wasn't on the ground for very long, but there was some tree damage and a few structures were damaged as well. And still awaiting word on a possible tornado down in Tuscarawas County near the Dover area. It's possible that a tornado touched down here, some structural damage and certainly plenty of tree damage as well. I've not heard word from the National Weather Service out of Pittsburgh whether they're doing a survey or not, or what the deal with that is at this point. We had a lot of wind damage, of course, across our area. You've seen the pictures and video, no doubt, online and during our newscast. So I've gotten some questions. Hey, was this a wet microburst that caused the damage in their location? And I don't see a lot of evidence of microbursts occurring. This is pretty classic straight line wind damage in most locations. Wind is wind, whether it's from a microburst or just plain old thunderstorm wind or even a low-end tornado. Wind is going to do what it's going to do once it reaches a certain speed. So, you know, in the grand scheme of things, whether it was a microburst or just straight line winds, it doesn't really matter. The wind did what it did, and, you know, we had a lot of problems with some downed trees and trees falling onto vehicles and structures and things like that. All right, back here in the present, and a little bit of a look at the past here at the last several hours of the visible satellite picture. Clouds cleared out pretty nicely this afternoon, late in the afternoon, after a gloomy start to the day, and yeah, as expected, there were a few snowflakes seen out there this morning. Hopefully this is the last time I'm going to show you the wind chill chart. Wind chills were still in the 20s as late as 11 o'clock this morning and didn't really reach the 40s until late this afternoon once the sun broke out. So it was a blustery day. All right, next few days are going to feature some improvement. Now, we have a little disturbance that's going to cross the region tomorrow, and there could be a couple of showers, Detroit over to Buffalo, and maybe as far south as Erie. I've got a low-end chance of a shower here locally, but it's like a 20% chance thing, and it's mostly north of Interstate 80 and closer to I-90. So would not count on many raindrops for your Tuesday. Call it a mix of sun and clouds, and temperatures will be much more seasonable. We stopped in the 40s today. We'll make our way into the upper 50s for Tuesday. All right, then this warm front, and this is a strong warm front. This is going to be pushing through on Wednesday. And with this front in the vicinity, I do have to allow for a passing shower on Wednesday. But once this reaches a far enough north latitude, we can stop talking about any rain chances and talk about a real summery day coming up on Thursday. This will be the warmest day of 2019 so far on Thursday with some milky sunshine. Temperatures will be off to the races. Now, I think the model here is probably a little bit too cool. I've got 78 in the forecast for Thursday. Even if it stops at 73, 74, it's still going to be really warm. Easily the warmest day of the season so far if we get to 78 on Thursday afternoon. All right, Easter weekend. First of all, some showers in the forecast for Friday with our next front. Now, the timing of that front does not look favorable for severe weather. I don't think the ingredients look very, very ominous for a severe weather day like we had yesterday. Maybe there's a rumble of thunder, but I think it's mostly innocuous showers on Friday. Now, Saturday's going to be a blustery and chilly day, but Easter Sunday looks a little more seasonable. By Easter Sunday, our average high is about 61. And so we should be around there, and there's an outside chance of a shower, but I don't see much rain coming our way for the holiday. Easter's late this year, of course. Last year, Easter was very cold, but Easter was a lot earlier in the calendar last year. All right, I like what I see in the longer range. There's been a warmer trend that has evolved in the last few days on the long-range modeling that has given us some hope that the end of April will be warmer than average. So I like what I'm seeing with the modeling and with the human-generated 8 to 14 day map here. So spring is going to continue to make its presence known, and as we've been talking about all along, April this year is going to be a lot better than April last year, and should pave the way to a pretty nice mid-spring period. All right, that's it for tonight's weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you back here on Tuesday.